as a customer. It finds a promised by date field, updates it to the right date, and now save everything and close the application, and now continue clean up everything. And then most probably, if Composer Flow would be running, it would have realized, okay, this process is completed, it will trigger the next update, basically. And this has been just, I have loaded this process on my local machine to give you an impression how the overall automation story could work. Having Composer in the flow, having UI automation in the flow, where you have headless and UI activities combined to serve a dedicated need in the customer service agent requirement. And this is how, at the end of the day, Michael is super happy. He has now, he can go and tackle the next case. He's paid by the number of cases he's working. So this is also something where he has a benefit from, but NTO has providing a connected experience, a better customer experience for the service agent, for the employee, as well as for the customer. And this was the first demo to give you an outline how everything can be interacting with each other. Again, before I go to the next one, let's ask for questions.
Sorry, Amir, I have one.
Yes, please.
Sorry if I'm asking many questions, but this
No,
is
no worries.
brilliant demonstration of capabilities weaving in to deliver a specific business outcome. This is brilliant. But if I have to add little complexity to the requirement, right? So if I want to do like a stock check before even I change the delivery date to make sure that the stock is available to be delivered, where do you think that logic should sit? Does it need to sit within Salesforce flow, or does it need to come down to an API integration into Composer?
That's a very good question, and we had this also in one of our last sessions. So it really depends. Where is your inventory management? Where do you check? Is it in Salesforce? Is it a modern application? Is it like in NetSuite, or is it in a old database or legacy app? Based on the identification where it is living,
Perfect.
you would identify, okay, Composer or RPA.
Makes sense. Composer. Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And no worries, ask as many questions as you want. We just need to take on the time, but sure. I'm very happy that you are asking questions.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, not in chat window, but still many people, mic is enabled, please ask. But it's really going great, Amir. People can ask the question.
Okay. So in the next demo, we will be... I'm sorry?
Amir, this is Raghu. I have a question. What would be 3 main reasons why an integration customer should look at MuleSoft RPA?
I think I can give you 3 main reasons why he should look into MuleSoft automation. Of course, RPA is one of the capabilities it provides. And now, really looking into MuleSoft RPA, we have seen that APIs, which can be covered with integration, what we provide as a solution with Anypoint, we can do basically everything. Now, having RPA in the picture, they can now cover all the scenarios which they were not able to cover so far. Like they are receiving emails, and now there is a PDF attached or image is attached, which need to be read. So here RPA is providing OCR capabilities to really read it like a human eye would read and interpret the PDF. It can be like written PDF with, just a Word file you have converted to PDF. This is a written PDF. It can be something which you have scanned or even handwritten if this is clear. So doctor's handwriting may not work, but in general, if it is a clear handwritten document, even then we are able to extract the data in a clean way and process it further. So the combination and the possibilities processing unstructured data, which is anyway 80% of any organization. They have so many unstructured data everywhere. So you will be able to expand your capabilities of the integration landscape to an area which you have not touched before. Also, the second scenario would be like legacy application which are not providing any API and you were not able to unlock them so far with any point. RPA is providing the change and allows you to unlock these applications by you doing UI automation.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let's continue with the next demo. I've called it build your first bot, which is incorrect. The bot is like a runtime which is waiting for automated processes to receive and execute. So we will be building our first automated process. And for this, um, we will be utilizing RPA Builder. But what's the use case? Again, we are working at NTO, this fictional company. This might be, yeah, there's Harold. Everyone knows Harold, right? So he's very famous in the internet. He's a legacy COBOL developer and a very super experienced IT system admin. And he takes care basically about the legacy app. And NTO has a couple of them. What he don't like is Jira. So it's kind of, everyone likes Jira, but Harold doesn't. So however, he doesn't want to work in Jira. And as he's so important, a great asset to NTO, being one of the last developers in the market of COBOL. So they want to fulfill his needs. So he can receive his task. They have agreed to have a text file, and then he manually copies these tasks which are coming in from a text file into his favorite task app, an old task app which does not provide any APIs, but he loves it, and this is what he is investing. So NTO has also realized, look, Harold, this is good, you can work, but you are investing every day 2 hours to insert the new task you have. So this is something we need to improve. Yeah. So again, they have seen in service agent case, automation has worked very well. And here we are really talking about a dedicated scenario where you have a system which do not provide any API. So let's automate it and help Harold to be more productive. And this is what we are going to do. First of all, we need to understand how Harold is doing things manually. In general, when you are going for UI automation, this is the first thing you have to identify, how the process is executed manually. Do it as a practice before you go and build with RPA. Do it manually, manual execution, to understand how the application is behaving, how the data is reflecting, how the user is basically doing it. So what he does, three main tasks. First, you read the files. We have to count the lines, right? So he doesn't count. He gets the list of the task and he copy paste, read line by line, and then open the task app, create a new task, enter each line per task, and save the task. And once all tasks are created, he closed the task app. So everything is transferred into this task app. Super simple scenario. What we will do is we will first of all look at the task or at the activities which are performed only once. Like we are counting the lines, opening the file, we are reading, no, sorry, we are opening the task app and we are closing the task app. So these things are happening only once. But there are things which are based on the count and number of the text file, repetitive, coming again and again in the same pattern, basically. And this is where you will basically do it in a loop until the count of lines is completed. You would read the line, create the task, enter the data, form the line, and save the task. And this in a loop until all the lines are done. So we have this automated. So this is what we are going to look into now by automating it from a very first step. So what I have already done, yeah, so we will be building it together, but still I have done some pre-work. Like I have loaded this process here, right? So I have this demo process which exists, and this demo process is completely empty. Yeah? So it's really something I have created in RPA Manager, and now in terms of times, we will do it together. So first of all, as I mentioned, we want to automate a manual process. For this, you have to understand what we are looking to automate. Yeah? First of all, we have here the short version of the my task list. Simple, right? So here you have the task ID and separated by semicolon, task name and description. Task name, description. So same pattern, it's always the same. So this is something we will be reading. And the task app is like this. A super simple task app where you come in, You create a task, enter the title, the description, press create task, and then continue. Yeah. So this is his favorite task app, and this is something we want to uh, automate. So first things first, we need to read the file itself, and count the lines. Right. So this is the initial thing we need to start with. And you can see this is the MuleSoft RPA builder. It's the tool which will provide you all the capabilities to automate any UI activities based on the toolbar which is provided. This is exactly the tab where I am focused on. And you see we have different sections we can use to control the automation on the UI level. Yeah? There are few headless operations as well, like file creation, read file, and so on, will be also consuming it. Makes no sense to open the file visually. There are a few things in UI automation which can be done in the backend as well. General information, mail operations. So there is a big set of activities provided here, and we will be consuming those. Yeah? First of all, I'm looking to read a file. So we can see here file operations. I can open it to see read from text file is something, or I can type in here in the toolbar, which is also cool. Now it filters on the keyword read, yeah, and I can now say read PDF. And now it's text file, read from text file. That sounds good. Let's drag and drop it here. First thing, you have to make sure that you provide a readable way. So let's say this is reading task file. This is just a logical name for you to interpret the script even uh, later on after few months. So let's go and provide now the directory path. So this reading text file is asking me to provide the directory path as well as the file name itself. So let's go for the directory path, which would be on C drive. I guess it is located under files, and under files I have my task, and there I will find the file name, which is my task here. And is asking me, what do you want to do? I say I want to read the entire file, because this is something which is then read by this activity, and it is providing me a feedback. A feedback could be all the lines, the count on the lines which I have. Yeah? So once I've done it, I want to, let's go back here to our presentation. This is actually the right way to do it, right? So here we have count lines, and let me put it exactly in the same manner so we can reflect better what I've already done. So let's say this is counting just the lines, reading the whole set of file. And the next thing is like, I want to open the task app. I will copy it from here. So you can see how simple it is. So let's say in order to open the task app, I have something called run program. And of course, you will not know it out of the box directly. You have to explore this toolbox to understand what are the templates we are providing. So you find this run program, put it here, and now you say open task app. Basically, this is where the task app is, what I'm doing with the task app. And here I have the task app itself, where I can say, okay, this is basically the path to the app. And I don't want the working dir of my RPA builder. I want the working dir from this task app. So create everything there so it's available also when different users are opening the task app. And now I can test it, right? So this is providing me a testing capabilities. Let's see. It's starting up. Wow. Okay. It starts up. That's cool. Like it. Okay. So now I have done the first two steps. The next step would be inserting a loop, right? So you go again here, say loop, and then you have different kind of loops like file control loop, break loop, Excel control loop. I will go for the standard loop and just paste it here in the wrong place. Again, oh, come on. Drag and drop it to the right area, and now it's here. So the loop need to be configured. It need to have any kind of iteration. Currently it says 2 iterations, but I don't need 2 iterations. I need exactly the counting lines number here. It should be flexible. If it has 8 lines, it should iterate 8 times. If it has 7 lines, based on the number, whatever is here, I want to iterate it. So let's say I want to get the line count. Because we have read the whole file, we will count the lines here, and we will start with 1 and we will increment 1. So this is fine. Here I have configured it, and I will name it like read in a loop line by line. Again, readability of the what you are doing. It's completely codeless, you see it, but still it's something you need to do in order do the automation. So the next step would be now to read the lines. Yeah? So for reading the lines, again, I have used this thing already, but I will use it again. So read text from file. Again, it's the same thing which I've already used, but there was the focus on counting the lines. And now I will read line by line read. That I can see, okay, what is the file name? The file is stored again at the same thing. So here I can define variables, but I want to go really flat, into this thing. So you see, okay, these are the activity. It's not like a rocket science. It's a super easy to understand tool which you can really use to execute here. So I want to read a single line. And now he's asking me, okay, I start with the line number 0, but I want to read actually the lines of the iteration here. Again, what I can do is I can click here, link with something which I have done already before. It finds the loop and it says there's something called iteration available. Is this something you are looking for? I say, yes, exactly. This is what I want to look for. It's reading line by line. The next step, which is not here, is when we go back again, it's read line and creating task. But what I have read here is, and let me do a write log, and write log is like a debug, info in the console, which will tell you exactly what is the content of what you have just read. So I will say it is what I want to see in the write log is like here, read, and double click it. And in order for us to see it, I will put it as warning. So we are able to see it captured directly next to the informations, which are also in the whole thing. So I will run it now. The process as far as I have right now. So you will see it has done something very fast. Open the task app, didn't do anything because it was not creating any task, but still it did something. And where happened this something is like here in the workflow results, you can see write log. First one, customer message, is the whole thing. And I don't want the whole string to be entered as a task. I want part of it as a title and part of it in the description. So I need to do some work before I create the task. So this is something which has been shown. So I will just quickly show you again. I was too fast here realizing now. So here you can see this is the write log. And the moment I said it's a warning, this is actually the reason why I said it's a warning. So it's for me easily visible in the debug, so I can understand it. I had the information, and then again the next warning was the second line. I had 6 lines which were read, but it was as a full string, and I want to really split it a bit. So that's what I will be doing as a next step. So now I have the line. I want to create an array. So let's see what kind of array information we have. So string to array, this sounds very valuable. So let's say string to array and disable this step. So let's say this one is disabled. Read from array. So split values, I will call it. What is the input string it's asking me? I have the line, right, in the iteration. So I will say, this is my line. What's the separator? It's a semicolon. This is okay. So now I'm splitting the values. And the next thing is read from an array, because there are 2 things. First is the title. The second one is the description. And all is now part of this split values. So I will be bringing this in and say the first one is the title, which I will be reading. Read from which array? I open. It will find, okay, before you have created an array, so let's read from it. And what you want to read? The first thing, the first index, which is the title. Yeah? The next one, I can even copy paste. You will see it will create here like a title 1. I can rename it. So let's say this is like a description. And you have here 2, which will be then the description itself. So the second part of the array and the first part. So now I have the title and I have the rest. Application was also opened. We have seen it. So now let's do a more quick and advanced creation. I will open the app. So the app is opened. I will place it here so it's really available. And now I can go from RPA here into something called, which is, sorry, first of all, I need to add a session. Sorry, my mistake. So I need to add, because I want to interact now with the application itself. So I will add here a session for the task app. So let's say this is the task app. And from here, I would go now into a quick creation mode. And in the quick creation mode, you will see everything collapses. And I have this small toolbox to interact now with my application. So I want to insert here. Sorry, I want to insert here. And what I want to do is, first of all, create on this button. Yeah, so let's say app session. I will say here, click. Sorry, what is wrong? Task app. Yeah, so oops. There is this focus. Sorry for that. So here, my mouse is not working. So now you can see here I have click app element because I'm now in the app session itself. So I can say click app element is something which I want to do. I want to identify the object. So you say identify the object and it's guiding you. Press F2 to identify the object. I say, okay, F2. It identifies the object. And now I can say, what is this doing? This is just create or no, new task button, new task button. It's from my readability. This is fine. And the moment I say stop capturing, it has created these properties. You see where the button is located via XPath, the name of the window title. This is fine. So creating task button. Now I manually open it, of course. Yeah. And I can see here, this is the create task with the title and the description. So I would say now set field to um, a field, to a text field. So let's say here F2 again. It identifies the title, and now I can enter here, say set title, and what is the value of the title? I want to consume something which I have read already. So I see the arrays are available, which I've extracted, title as string. This is what I want to use. Enter it here. The same thing I will do now with the description. Identify object, go here, identify the object, set description, stop capturing, put in the value which you are looking for, which is in this case, again, a description, enter as string, okay. The last thing which I want to do is creating on this button. So let's say task, identify object, same approach, F2, create task. That's it, stop capturing, creating task, and say okay. Now that's done basically. I believe I've done it correctly. And now I can say I want to go back, exit the quick mode. And the last thing after the loop, I want to close the app basically. So you can see here, you have built upon this, so you can even collapse these things to become more readable. And now I can say check process. It's something which I know. I will drag and drop it here, and I will say if a process is there, close task app is the name of my app. What I want to check on the main.exe process. Is it there? Main.exe process. If it is there, close it or kill the process, and that's it. So that's basically, if I have done everything correctly, that should be automating the whole thing for Herald. So let's save it and trigger the run directly. It takes some time. So run is triggered. You see, it starts the app, and now it is going directly, entering the data. And I can go now also for the larger file. It is just entered the data and done the thing for Herald. So this is a really dedicated local bot for Herald to really become more productive. And now we have automated the whole thing, which was not really super complex. There's still a few minutes left. So I would now go back again into my presentation and open up for questions again. So we are running a bit out of time, but we have one topic left.
Yeah.
So any
I
questions?
don't see any questions in our chat window, but anyone please feel free to ask question directly.
Amir, one question. If the application has an access control, like I'm logging in through a username password, where do I save it and how do I refer that in my flow?
That's a very good question. So there are different things you can do.
Mhm.
We provide activity parameter, which you can say, okay,
Okay.
there are activity parameters which you enter either from outside of the
Okay.
process,
Mhm.
managed in RPA, I store it somewhere, I read those information from a database, which is then the first activity, getting the information and then inserting it, or just handling it as a variables, which is also a possibility you could add here.
Suppose like if I'm creating an opportunity in Salesforce and I want to use the Salesforce login credentials. So that's an user input.
Yes. So this is something you can also provide. Like you can define and say, okay, before the bot runs and logging into Salesforce, I want to create a user task.
Okay.
And this user task should send an email to user ABC.
Okay.
And once he receives the email, he can go into RPA Manager, enter the information, username and password, and then press OK. And the bot will then continue to run the automated process.
Okay, so
Also one
that's an
option.
user task. Okay, so we're
Yes.
explicitly expecting an user to do an entry. Okay,
This is
perfect.
also possible. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question here, Jack. The desktop app
Jack?
is Jackie.
Hi,
The
Jack.
desktop app is local to the Herald's PC. Where is
Yes.
the runtime of the bot? How can it access the local desktop app? That's the question.
So I have demonstrated it with the design, with the builder, so which has an embedded runtime, very similar to the Anypoint Studio. If you would deploy it in production, right? So it would have Harold's bot installed on his local machine. So his local machine need to be active. In this scenario, the scenario is like a funny case, but you have to have a bot on the same machine where the app is running. This is important. So a bot need to be installed, and then you will deploy it, say every morning at 7. This process is executed. So when Harold starts with his breakfast, he can turn it on and turn on his PC, so his laptop is available, and then everything is happening there. Or he can say, I have it on a dedicated environment, my task app. There, the bot is doing the update, and that's good enough for him. Yeah? So, like this kind of approach you have to take for this simple scenario, which does not really match the use case, but I wanted to show the technical possibilities. But yeah, you have to have the bot installed on the app machine.
Yeah, great. I think there is another question from Suchitra. She's saying, what happens if there are some failures while executing those loops?
So if there are failures, so RPA will stop. So out of the box, it will just stop. Yeah. So you can apply additional logic to say, okay, if there is a failure, then do like checking and making sure that you can interpret it correctly and then further proceed. But out of the box, it's like a stack trace, very similar to any point where you just get a stack trace from. And this is here the case as well.
Yeah, great. I think Deep also asked the similar kind of question about error handling. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Sorry, one last question, Ahmed. So I think the reading the file and all on the left panel, it looks to me like there are pre-baked templates to read the file and all. So within my organization, if I have a mundane task which is common across different departments, can I create my own template where it can be imported in different RPA processes?
Wow. You are thinking already ahead. Yes, this is possible. Different ways. Again, what you can do is you can say either these three are safe. Sorry, I can, yeah, like here I can say on the transaction level,
Okay.
save as template. So this would be
Ah,
like in my toolbox. Yeah,
okay.
will be like a template which you see here. I have different templates created
Yeah.
for me. Go to transaction update order, whatever. So this is like a combination of steps which you can save as templates, user templates, or you can say, I want to share it with a broader org.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to share this piece of activity
Yeah.
and save it and upload it to an activity library.
Yeah.
And then other users, they can see the activity libraries which are built from other groups, and they can reuse it here basically. So this is the concept. Different ways to
Yeah.
do it.
Mhm.
I think based on the requirement, if it's only for you, you go for
Yeah.
a user template. If it's for a broader user community, you go with the activity library.
So that's activity library is sitting within RPA, not on Exchange, is it?
No, it's something in RPA,
In
but
RPA.
let's assume you have completed and automated this process. Now you can go a step further
Mhm.
and say, okay, this automation is something I want to share even with a broader organization
Mhm.
and publish the automated process as an API in Exchange. And this really changes the whole picture.
So that's only possible at a overall end-to-end process level, not like RAML fragments. I can check these templates into Exchange.
Currently not, but the approach would be like, you build just this simple user
Mhm. Mhm.
task or template and in one activity, and you publish
Yeah,
this activity. So
as a
you will
flow.
get there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Amir. Yeah.
Welcome. Finally, also looking at the time. Sorry, Ravi, I'm just over exceeding.
No,
Bad.
it's very interesting, Amir. I think just like that 1.5 hour passed.
Okay. So let's continue with few cases. And here we have put some heads together to identify use cases which might be happening very soon in the future. Again, NTO, service agent case, we have seen Rachel and Michael working together in a service cloud environment. What else could it be? Is this always working? It's a great improvement for NTO, but there is something else coming for NTO. For instance, I'm not sure what's happening now. Yeah, chatbots plus RPA. This is a great story. Chatbots, as of so far, are limited to a certain extent of information orchestration as well as providing help and assistance. But now combining both together, like Black Friday is coming, end of September, Cyber Monday is there. You will have Christmas and additional events throughout the year which you will then try to focus on. So now here RPA can really relieve the service team because on Black Friday, NTO has realized, okay, we sell a lot, we do great revenue, but as a downside, we also have a lot of update requests, cases which are coming in where we have to put the customers in a queue. They have to wait until all the cases are done. Even with the new process automation and improved way of working, still a high number of cases are coming in, so the service team is not really following up on it. So they want to improve this. So what they have done is like, I will not show the demo. We will have a separate meetup exactly on this Black Friday use case very soon. So the bot is kind of the first point of contact where the bot starts or customer starts the chat conversation with the bot. So bot, Einstein bot in our case, using the same capabilities with the flow. So basically the same flow will be used here. Einstein bots provides assistant and ask the customer what he wants to update. Will it be the orders? Rachel, will it be talking to the bot? And additionally, it's also offering them to talk directly to an agent because this is a change or a case where the bot cannot help. This might be something where a service agent, a human, is needed. So this is something where the Rachel can decide on herself. So if she want to talk to an agent, there might be a queuing time like 30 minutes you have to wait on Black Friday, something like this. Yeah. Or if you go directly into the chat offering, it will guide you through the update order process and continue even the conversation in the same manner like Michael did by providing additional questions. But in parallel, a bot will be triggered. And this is the same Salesforce flow, which is triggered from Einstein bot, which will do basically the same update in the order management system, and Composer will do the update in NetSuite. And at the end, Rachel will be informed via email everything was fine, and she would get also information on the case ID if she doesn't receive the email, how to proceed. So she have a reference to work with. And at the end, while the bot is executing, the chatbot will continue to ask further support needed if yes still want to talk to an agent or end the conversation. So this is a scenario where we will be organizing a separate meetup. I think it's 11th of November, somewhere in this time frame, and presenting a lot of different use cases, and also show how we have implemented it, really going into Salesforce chatbots, how the chatbot is talking to RPA, how RPA is being orchestrated in Composer, and how the things are interconnecting. Because hyper automation is not just about UI and API automation. It provides also chatbots are improving a lot of contribution towards automation. You have Einstein with their recommendation, providing a couple of intelligence. You have machine learning. You have low code environments. So different things which are contributing together. And Salesforce is providing a perfect ecosystem to really scale up your hyper automation journey. And this will be just where we will be showcasing in November meetup. So this is one of those use cases. The second one is also something we have identified through talking to different customers. And you see, patients admission. Are we talking really to hospitals? Yes, we are talking to hospitals. We have here just a demo application where the story goes like this. You have Julie, assistant, a trainee who is studying and working in part-time at an open hospital. She manages all new admissions coming into the system, and these admissions are coming via email, Excel. So she has to read. She's a human, right? So she opens a PDF and types in the data and process it in the administration system and do it manually. There could be, of course, the human error, which could then have a high impact on the patient itself. But the process goes like this. Doctors in Switzerland can send you, can admit you as a single patient to a hospital. You will be then transferred to different hospital based on the capacity and availability, or other hospitals can also forward you and provide multiple admissions to a larger hospital which has enough places. So this is the way it is working, where then somebody has to enter this in the system, and there's a high need in automation. This is a HLS use case, health life sciences, but still it's a super valid use case where you can see, okay, you receive email which is getting unstructured data attached to it. Now this data need to be processed, if it's a hospital or SAP system or Salesforce health cloud, whatever, but there is a manual intervention with a defined pattern of repetitive work, which you can remove and replace with RPA. So while Julie would be receiving the email, downloading the attachment based on the type, she would reading line by line or opening the PDF and then register the admissions. Same a bot can do. Basically, whenever email arrives, right? So there's arrow prone as well. So whenever an email arrives, the bot opens it. It opens, read line by line, a similar approach like we have seen with the text file, or just use OCR capabilities to read a PDF and then continue the admission in the hospital application to really reduce the amount of hours spent by a valuable resource, which could be doing more uh, more innovation task or any other task which is more appealing to her work than just doing this repetitive work. And the last one, which I wanted to also present, is like inventory management. We have Martin. Martin has to always log into SAP, check on different stocks, get approval for order, purchase the order, release the order, and then send the order confirmation. This is a long process. He has to really go to SAP and do the automation based on transactions. And here you can already think about, okay, we have AnyPoint, APIs, available connectivity to SAP. So this could be even faster, right? But I have just put the example together of where he is working on 2 hours daily basis. It's a time consuming, not very accurate process. Sometimes he does also mistakes on the purchase order. However, this can be automated. Again, you see here the bot, but it is really including the MuleSoft automation solution. So you could even go with AnyPoint and log into SAP, check the stock overview, read the email with the RPA capabilities, send email out for approval, purchase order, release order, and send the order confirmation. So this is really something which is super valid and easy to automate, and it's impacting a lot of manufacturing as well as health life sciences sectors. So these are just few of the use cases which I have prepared to present today. And Yeah, just to give you an understanding where this can go and what is out of the possible and beyond. Again, I want to pause here now, just on the use cases itself, to make sure everything is still clear. You are with me, even we have over exceeded the time.
No, I mean it's really very great. If anyone has any questions, please ask. I know that is already overshooted by 15 minutes.
I do actually, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
Yes.
So if I'm wearing my CISO or an info security hat, so I'm doing UI automation and I have an additional captcha security to make sure that I'm not running a robot scraping and sending bombarding DDoS requests. So how do I handle that in RPA? So there is a
What do you mean?
captcha additional security, right? So you have to say, I'm not a robot. There is an additional check to make sure that I don't bombard my website with malicious requests, right? So if I'm doing an web UI automation, if there are such restrictions, how do the RPA handles those?
So I think, I don't want to say it's possible. I've not tried it. First of
Okay.
all, a great point. I think it should be technically possible to
Okay.
do it by, you capture the screen, you read, and then click exactly on that specific
So
icon to check it. Um, Still, I believe, as we are talking about websites, so the better option would be really seeing if it's possible to do the automation with APIs.
because
Um,
that's an additional level of security which the
yes.
usually websites put to make sure
Yeah.
that we are not doing a web scraping and time bombarding with DDoS requests. So it would
Yes.
be quite interesting to see if we have such a website and how do we automate that part, or
Mm.
either bypass it or use the image capture and highlight the area and use the tick box.
Yeah, I think it
That's an
should be
interesting.
possible. I will look for it, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I will keep
If you could,
updating
please.
either on LinkedIn or
Perfect.
keep updating Robbie on this. But this is an interesting one. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Cheers. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so any additional questions?
Yeah. Hi, Ananda here. So
Hi.
one question. I mean, it's an excellent, first of all, demo you have given, and it's clarified a lot of doubts. So
Thank
all
you.
this demo is related to some of the business areas. So is it possible to envision RPA as another means to automate some of our anypoint platform activities? Like suppose my all my data
From certain APIs, and especially when we use the static pages.
Mhm. So actually, recently I was talking to a customer, and they came up with the same scenario, like more in a operating part. What happens if API is not responding, and how can you get rid of it instead of providing a system engineer with a defined pattern of a checklist? Isn't this something a bot could be checking? So yes, it could be definitely used for screen scraping any point, and actually really go into the specific area where you want to check something. If either API is not responding, what is the log trace? Are you able to see a specific log there, and based on this you can then further execute additional requests and activities in the same manner you would do it basically on any point with the scenario you described. So basically, yes, it should be possible. Yeah.
But what's the cost implication? We will be using the credits for some tasks which aren't like
Yes.
business processes, right? So should we be considering from a licensing perspective as well?
So point of view, it's this automation which you will introduce will give you a kind of a benefit, right? So this is which will be consuming the subscription and the bot minutes of your MuleSoft automation subscription. So whenever a bot is executing, even it's kind of a any point or whatever the UI is, it is executing. So it is running an automated scenario for you. So it will be counted.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So I was just like trying to position the platform APIs versus looking in an RPA. Would it be a beneficial to do from the cost perspective, or is it really helpful to bring in the automation which can be done through the platform APIs or the cloud app APIs?
Yeah, cloud is also a good option. Yeah? Platform APIs definitely would be worth to look into it,
Hmm.
especially on Composer, where you can say, okay, on schedule basis, I want to check on specific platform APIs, what is the status, and based on the status, you can further process other APIs or executions. Also combine RPA if needed.
Yeah,
Because some areas, platform APIs is super comprehensive, but still in some areas you have to really link multiple resources, get to the point where you want to be. So here a combination would be really good to
perfect.
provide both.
Thank you.
So what's up next in
Yeah,
regards to
I think one question from Jack. He's asking about the licensing, right? Can we use RPA Manager Recorder for trial version, or do you need any paid licensing like that?
so currently the license model, I will not talk about numbers, that's not my role and responsibility, but I can tell you it's a super easy model. It's a super competitive model in the market, which allows you to purchase a kind of a number of credits and tasks on Composer and capacity in any point. It's part of the base package. And within this base package, you can already do a lot. So, and we are just counting the automation part itself, right? So whenever a bot is running, so you can do this designing, and all this is part of the platform. It's for you to be there, and you can really evaluate all the processes, use it for operations, and we are just counting whenever an automated process is running by the bot. I don't know if this answers the question. Further information on the numbers I cannot provide.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, thank you. Maybe for the interest of the time, maybe I think you have trivia, right? If you want, you can
Yes,
ask.
I have one, but last two slides,
Yeah, sure.
get a,
Yeah.
get equipped with the automation piece. I know there is a composer stream, there is a RPA stream. Try to understand automation not as composer or not only as RPA. Try to bring things together, because this is how the MuleSoft automation picture is positioned. And also always think about how to make it more efficient, not only in the execution way, but also how you can quickly automate. And this will really open up doors for you. So Composer for me is really a unique differentiator we have in the market, which can really work with so easiness by decoupling the technical complexity. So look into Composer Trailblazer community. We are providing trail mixes for the Composer. We have a library for Composer as well the help center. So take a look on these resources. Same for RPA, Trailblazer community. Trail mix is available. Courses are available. How to getting started. Getting yourself equipped with this new upskilling and automation topic is really something which will benefit you also on longer term in your career. So I can motivate and really advise to everyone, if you need assistance and guidance, there are so many MuleSoft mentors there. If you need additional technical sessions, there are also a lot of RPA expert, automation expert available. Give them a call, and they can help you with this. So look at these resources, super useful to further proceed. I think this slide is obsolete. It has been a very interactive session, so thank you for that. Really learned also a lot from the questions and scenarios and use cases you have asked. So now we have a quiz upcoming. So let's go to kahoot.it,
Yeah.
and we will be tackling this quiz.
Yes. Thank you. I think please join. I know that it's highly impossible. Amir, you just spoke for just 2 hours without non-stop. Yeah, it's a really great session. So please join others who actually. I think you all know the rules, right? People who maybe if you are the mentors, if you are maybe other roles you are playing, and also you already won the any coupon in the last 1 month. I think you may not be available to participate. You may not get the training voucher, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
get your mobile, scan the
Yes.
QR code, or go to kahoot.it and enter the game pin, and you are up to perform. So you are RPA is there as well. Cool. So let's say if this is automated.
Yeah. By the way, actually, Murli is saying that there are several options to options. So how quickly build a service and the benefits in future. And is thanking you for this great session. Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
definitely, Murli. Yeah, it's very very informative because I think he do lot of research. That's why I like all the sessions. And
Thank you.
also, your session will be always unique, Amir.
Thanks a lot, Robbie. Robbie, you have the control on it. So I don't know how many are in the call. So you will tell us when to start. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think there are around 31 participants here. Yeah, we'll give maybe another half minute or something like that. Otherwise, we'll start. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Yeah, thanks, Sudhir. Yeah, I agree with you. Amir simply rocked this show.
Thank you. So shall we hit the start button?
Yeah,
5,
yes, please. Yeah,
4,
please.
3, 1, 2, of course, and now 1. Start. So the first question is, what are the goals of automation? Reducing cost, increasing productivity, increasing efficiency, all of the above.
Yes, please. Your mobile and please answer. Thank you.
Great. So it's
Yeah,
all
it's
of
really
the
great.
above. So nice. Next one. So Meghanath, you're leading